the midweek edition of TVC Breakfast. Good morning and thank you for joining us on the program.
We're glad you're able to join us now. We're streaming live on YouTube, but you can also connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast.
Well, in the news at this time, the Taraba or Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule has summoned an emergency security meeting at the government house this morning.
Yeah, the meeting is to reappraise the extensive security template of the state given the robbery operation which took place at the Lafia-Akwanga Highway yesterday. The governor urged residents of the state to go about their normal duties. On Tuesday evening, suspected armed robbers attacked the convoy of Nasarawa State Deputy Governor Dr. Emmanuel Akabe.
Dr. Akabe was on his way to Abuja on an official engagement when the convoy ran into the robbers who were operating a few kilometers away from Akwanga. Well, the deputy governor was unhurt, but some within his convoy were not so lucky.
3 police officers, a driver and a civilian, were killed in the process.
In a few hours from now, President Muhammadu Buhari will inaugurate ministers designate after their 2-day retreat in Abuja, where he charged them to rise to the responsibilities of the ministerial office.
The ministers will also be assigned portfolios which will spell out priorities, deliverables and timelines. All eyes are on ministries many Nigerians consider as critical, like the ministries of power, works, health, education, among others.
Suspected kidnap kingpin Hamisu Bala, also known as Wadume, has revealed that soldiers aided his escape after he was arrested by operatives of the IRT on August the 6th.
The kidnapped suspect confessed that he was taken to a barracks where the handcuffs put on him by the IRT operatives was broken. Defense correspondent Sifone Sien has details on this.
The rearrest of Hamisu Bala Wadume is a breakthrough for the Nigeria police. And now, police investigators are much closer to unraveling the circumstances surrounding the killing of 3 IRT operatives and 2 civilians. In this video released by the police, the suspect talks about his arrest by the IRT operatives and the encounter on the 6th of this month with troops in Ibi, which eventually led to his escape.
'Yan sanda suka zo ibi suka kama ni da suka kama ni suna tafiya da ni sai soja suka bi su suka bude wuta har wayansu 'yan sanda suka rasa rayukansu da nan suka ɗauko ni suka kawo ni headquarters su na soja suka yanke mun ankof ɗin da yake hannuna na gudu tun da na gudu ina cikin buya sai yanzu 'yan sanda suka sake kama.
This contradicts the statement issued by the Nigerian Army spokesman after the incident that the death of those on the police team was as a result of an exchange of gunfire with troops who took them to be kidnappers. The police say the suspected kidnap kingpin was arrested on Monday in this house in the Hotoro area of Kano State by operatives of the IRT led by their head, Abba Kyari. This may bring closure to families of the IRT operatives and their civilian counterparts who lost their lives in the line of duty. Sifon Asian, TVC News, Abuja.
Joining us now is public affairs analyst Gbola Oba and another public affairs analyst, Razak Olukoba. Good morning.
Thank
to
you.
you
Good morning.
both. Welcome to TVC Breakfast. Let me begin with you. You're closest to me after all. Talking about this feat now. How did it meet you?
I'm not particularly surprised. A cursory examination of the security situation in Nigeria would tell you, and I've been saying this for the last 2 years, I've even said it before on this platform, would tell you that it's about time we audited the whereabouts of those demobilized or retrenched from the security services in the last 10 years. I am also one who believes that many of the kidnappings, especially kidnappings in Nigeria, couldn't have been done without the involvement of security operatives who are still in service. The sophistication, the seeming retardation in the way security establishments engage or challenge the modus operandi of these people who should tell us that something is fundamentally wrong.
Right. All right, Razak, let me come to you on this. The point there is the military had issued a statement earlier on saying that, or narrating what happened, official statement narrating what happened, saying that actually there was a distress call received that someone was kidnapped and they were trying to rescue, and at the point there was exchange of gunfire. With these confessions now, it seems a total contradiction of actually what happened.
The revelation is very scary. That's why we have to understand the plight of Mr. President, what will be going on in his mind now, that this is my security apparatus coming down. What the army did, when you have two agencies like that, what the two agencies will do is to try to manage the public image that people have about them. I'm not supporting any agency to lie about them, but it is also important that the morale and the confidence Nigerians have in them is very important. So they have to manage it, and the caveat they give is that they are going to investigate, that these are preliminary reports. Now, the consequence that will come out of it is important. If there are consequences, nothing of such will happen again. But if it is swept under the carpet, it will continue. This is not the first time we will see this kind of thing. But because there are no heavy consequences, I will enjoy the army and the police, particularly Mr. President, his background is security and the army. It should not spare anybody. If you do that, people will be scared to be involved in this kind of thing. But if it is not, it will encourage other people. There are a lot of racket going on this. And just like what my colleague have said, it can't stay this long. If there are no collaboration, it cannot stay this long.
Will this interagency panel crack these rackets that we see playing out in the police, in the army, and elsewhere?
Yes, it will crack. And it's not a thing that must take our attention away from the good guys. There are the good guys. 2 months ago, Buratai compensated and gave an award to gallant soldiers. It is not in social media. It's not just on NT. I know it's not played overplayed. But it should not be a thing for Nigerians to look here from the guys. Guys are dying there every day. Look at the governor's convoy that were attacked. 3 policemen died and a driver. Our agents are losing their life on daily basis. So our attention should not be taken away from people who are hardworking, who are committed and patriotic. But for people who have done something wrong, there's a need to be punishment and every penalty for them.
All right. Well, in fact, social media is already abuzz with this issue already. Some are even saying that the military needs now to apologize to T.Y. Danjuma when he alerted sometime or raised an alarm that military agencies or military elements collude with criminal elements.
The military
needs now to apologize to T.Y. Danjuma when he alerted sometime or raised an alarm that military agencies or military elements collude with criminal elements.
The military establishment, especially the Chief of Army Staff, should primarily pay a visit to the spouses of the heroic officers that were killed. And the military should formally apologize for the circumstances that led to their death. And unfortunately, the publication or the press, this thing that was addressed after, the person that addressed that press release was a bit too tribal. It is traditional. You know, we used to be in houses when we were in secondary school, blue house, red house. We were nurtured to see the other side in a very competitive. But having said that, there is a point you get to and you think about the national interest. I guess the military has at this juncture, especially the army at this juncture, holds the Nigerian public the modicum of respect to say we're sorry for what happened to the operatives and visit the spouses of those people. That's fundamental. Apart from that, to be honest, we need to rejig our services, how they work together. I think the seeming visceral loathfulness between the police and members of the armed services is being pushed for too long now. The envelope is being pushed beyond where it should go.
All right. We have to leave it here now. Gbola Oba, thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you. And Razango Lokoba, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right.